Hey guys, Mini here, and today we're going to be tackling the Chaotic Darkness trial. So I'll be using Awakened Rain as my magic cover tank for this fight. He's got Purification, which prevents status ailments, which could come in handy as Chaotic Darkness is going to use status ailments in this fight. Got CG Nichol as a 6-star, got Wilhelm, he's got Genji Shield for death resist, and then Lightbringer to be some light damage. This will come in handy during a fight. Folka is my healer, and then I got Esther with Diablos. The key thing for all my units here is they've all got 100% or more dark resistance, except for Wilhelm, who is gonna... I couldn't fit enough dark resistance with 100% dodge. Now I'm just looking here for friend Esther with Diablos or Anima equipped, just because having more dark resistance makes it a lot easier to survive in this fight, but I'm not having much luck. None of my friends are sharing Diablos, Esther's, but that's all good. I'm just gonna go with this one here. It's got a lot of attack, Shiva. Let's just see how it goes. So I'm gonna be trying to get all missions done. I've cleared this once before already, so I know it's possible. I just didn't record it. So turn one, I'm gonna cover with Rain, use CG Nichol's elemental resistance buffs, and then Taunt with Wilhelm. Folka's going to make my team immune to status ailments, and Esther is just going to start chaining. That's pretty much all they're going to do this fight. I think I start off here with attack mag break with one of the Esthers, just to be safe, because one has Shiva equipped, so if she does accidentally take one of the magic uncoverable attacks, I don't want her to get knocked out. Like that. So if he wasn't broken there, I would have done a bit more damage than that. Might have even killed her, but luckily she survived. Normally it's not a big deal if she dies, but it does reset her buffs, which kind of screws with your damage. It makes it harder to hit the 20 turn kill cap. So here I'm just buffing with my healer and then chaining with my Esther's triple bolting strike. I'm gonna try to chain cap with my Wilhelm and his D-Rod crusher. You know, every little bit of damage counts. This guy has a ton of HP. It's nuts. And so this is basically what the fight is going to be like for the first little bit. The first sort of threshold, I guess, you're going to hit it at 80%. Now, I'm running Fenrir on one of my units. I can't remember which one now, but so again, we're just gonna go through the motions here. I'm gonna speed it up. The next sort of big point will be the 80% HP threshold, where he's gonna do an AoE physical dark type attack, which is why you want your team as much as you can to have dark resistance. I tried running this without the dark resistance. You can do it if you use Fenrir. You can dodge one attack with your whole team. That's enough to get through it. But towards the end of the fight, he'll AoE multiple times, and then if you can't burst him down, it just doesn't work. So I gave up on that idea. So here I should go over the threshold. I attack first with my DPS just to make sure. Then I cast Fenrir. Like I said earlier, Fenrir helps you to dodge that first AoE attack. I don't think I need him here because it's just one attack, but I use it anyway just in case, because my friend Esther doesn't have enough dark resist. I don't want to take any risks. Rain's gonna block the rest of the damage, and then the key here is, if you saw my Wilhelm, he countered, so you need to deal light damage to him right after the threshold, and this is gonna give you a free turn right after and prevent some of his attacks, or I guess seal some of his attacks. So you'll see right after this turn, he's gonna just do nothing for one turn. Comes in really handy. And also the sealed attacks are just a pain to deal with, so it's better to use that light damage. I mistimed my Rain's big attack. I was going to use it to chain cap for some extra damage, but I suck. So there you go. The light descends, and that's all he does. It gives you a chance to reset your covers, reset your buffs, and then going towards the second stage of the battle, where the next threshold we're going to hit is 50%. This part of the battle isn't really too different than the first part, so I'm just going to speed it up again. Ooh, look at that nice LB damage. Hell yeah. So here, when I'm using the Storm Clouds, I want to make sure to use it first before Bolting Strike, because that way it'll continue to chain when you switch from the one chaining family to the other. So if you do it in the opposite way, the chain will break before the third ability goes, and it just reduces your damage overall. So here we are, we're at 51%. On the next turn, we're going to hit his threshold again, and it's going to be the same thing. He's going to react by doing an AoE physical attack that's dark typed, and again, this is why you want as much dark resistance on all of your units as possible. And same as the first threshold, I'm going to use Fenrir to dodge the first one of these, because I don't want to take the risk. Now the only one at risk would be my friend Esther, but if she dies, she loses her buffs and you reduce your damage. It's not fun. As you can see, I'm doing about 35 million damage when I use that limit burst, but this guy just has so much health, it's ridiculous. Okay, so now, if you noticed, he didn't, well actually it hasn't happened yet, but this time you have to hit him with light for 2 turns in a row to seal the ability. So you're going to have to take his abilities at least one time for 1 turn. And it entails he's going to dispel your taunt tank in this case. So my Wilhelm's going to get dispelled, which does make things a little bit risky, you'll see. Even if somebody dies here though, as long as you hit him with light on the next turn, he will freeze again, so it'll give you a chance to reset. But here we go, let's see what happens here. So this is turn 1. Unfortunately, this battle takes so long because the chaotic darkness does a ton of attacks, and then my Wilhelm just counters for 7 years. So as you can see here, I had to take that second attack, and also because my Wilhelm got dispelled, it also means that he got hit with blind. Luckily, my Folka's counter went off, so it cured his blind, and he was able to hit with light. Again, this is why it's important to give him a light weapon. Here, I'm just going to dispel Chaotic Darkness, because if you saw, he gave himself an HP barrier. I'm just going to dispel that, cure my team, and then reapply the buffs that, just because my Wilhelm lost them, I don't want him to randomly die to something he shouldn't, and my Esthers are going to continue just pumping out damage. So here we go, you see that he freezes again, but this time we had to hit him with light for 2 turns in a row, and then 20% is going to be the next HP threshold, and this one you have to hit him with light for 3 turns in a row, so it's a lot more dangerous than the 80 and the 50% threshold. And also he's going to start using instant death attacks, which is why I've got my Wilhelm with a Genji shield. It'll make him resistant to death and just, I guess, increase the odds of my party surviving and getting through this fight. So here, I don't know how to chain. What else is new, right? So I'm going to speed this up again just because the part in between the thresholds isn't that dangerous. It's the part that after the thresholds where the fight becomes a little bit tricky. Okay, so here we go. We just crossed the 20% HP threshold. Again, I summon Fenrir because if I can dodge the damage, why not? I mean, if you can swing it, I can't think of the units right now. There are some units that can, on demand, give your team a 1 attack dodge. Could be useful here instead of Fenrir, but I don't have those units, so this is what I have. Also, a 7-star Maritime Strategist Nichol would be a lot more helpful, but again, you gotta use what you have. So here's turn 1, nothing that dangerous. Luckily my Wilhelm countered, so that's the light damage requirement for this turn. If he didn't counter, my Folka also has Banish, and I also have Holy Staff on my Nichol. So it's important to have a few sources of light damage just in case, because you never know who he's going to target with his stupid stuff. Oh my god, I suck. So here we go, double bolting strikes. Now it's turn 14, he's got 12% health left. You think, okay, it's going to be a piece of cake to get this done in 20 turns. But this stupid heal with the HP barrier just slows you down so much. And then he also killed my friend's Esther. I put a re-raise on her just in case, but it really sucks to have her die. It just does. It means your damage goes down a lot. She loses her triple cast, and it's just sucky. But here we go. That was turn 2. My Wilhelm is now confused, so I can't actually use him to do anything. So here we go. I'm going to Dispel, and then cast Re-Raise on my friend's Esther again. Recast my buffs. Using Purification just because Chaotic Darkness uses Stop once in a while, and I don't want my Wilhelm to get stopped because then he can't dodge attacks anymore. He's just going to die, and if he dies, everything kind of falls apart. So here we go. This should be the last set of attacks. I should freeze him on the next turn, so just get through the year-long counters. I got really lucky here that my Folka's counter procced, so it healed Wilhelm's blindness and he was able to get his light damage in. So I'm reapplying my taunts, my covers. I know he's going to be stunned on the next turn, so that's why I'm using Nichol's Limit Burst, because my friend Esther kept getting killed, so she has no buffs. This is going to help her damage out a little bit. As you can see, I don't know what the hell to do with her. Oh dear. Painful. If you do have a friend Esther that has dark resistance, this fight can be done a lot quicker. Or a friend, depending on what DPS you use. I don't know if you can actually hit the 20 turn mission with a lot of DPS. Cersei can do it if you got her, because Chaotic Darkness actually has less spirit than defense. So magic type DPS do a little bit better here, but I don't actually have access to any good ones, so I'm gonna stick with my Pikachus. So Chaotic Darkness is going to become active again now. I'm just here checking my buffs, making sure that I don't die right at the end. This fight is actually not that long, but it's long because Chaotic Darkness has 1,000,000 attacks it's got to do. And then my Wilhelm also has 1,000,000 attacks it's got to do. As you can see here, my Esters weren't strong enough to finish it off. It's got 4% left, so gonna cut it a bit close, but it's doable. And again, if you do have a friend DPS unit with Diablos, it also goes faster because Chaotic Darkness is a demon and a human, I believe. And Diablos comes with both demon and human killer plus if you have his 3-star form. Extremely helpful. Adds a lot to your damage. But as you can see, not necessary as long as you get a little bit lucky, I guess. So here we go. Let's see if I can properly chain my Reigns thing. Hey. But unfortunately, 2% left. Ugh. It gets down to the wire, but as you can see, it pretty much is done at this point. I think I just re-raise my Esters because I'm paranoid. Like, literally just in case if worst comes to worst, they're going to revive and I can still finish it on the last turn. So you probably don't have to do that here, but that's just my personality. I don't want to screw it up at the last second. So there you can see he used his instant death on my Wilhelm, but luckily Genji shield coming in clutch. Not that it would have mattered at this point, I think, because I have the re-raises on the Esther, so she would have been able to get her limit burst off anyway. And there we go. That's the end of the fight. Took only 19 turns. I don't know, maybe I could have done it quicker. I screwed up some chains at some point, but that's that. There we go. That's the Chaotic Darkness fight. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. I might try to do it with a weaker team or a team with maybe less gear to see if it's possible. If you guys are interested in that, let me know. And yeah, thanks for watching.